moving on, and I know, and I want to thank everyone for the time that they're spending. And I know that we're, it's the best laid, best laid plans of mice and men that we had to run a show that was very, very tight, and we're expanding, but the content is great and the speakers are just amazing. So I want to now introduce a team that's going to talk about marketplaces, getting ready for selling, cross chain, and NFCs. And I want to introduce Michael Gord and Rob Cole. And Michael, I know you're coming to us all the way from Dubai. Get Michael on. Hi, Rob.
Hello.
Hopefully Michael connects
Yeah.
easily.
Hey, David.
Hey, how are you? And I know it's already like 11 o'clock at night, I think there, is it not?
It's 10, all as well.
Oh, 10 is all as well. So it's still early for you. So that's great.
I mean,
So I
11
want to
is also
introduce
fine.
Michael. You've met already the other Michael, which is his partner, which at Rare. But Michael is an entrepreneur focused on changing the world by building next generation decentralized application using blockchains and smart contract technology. I've known Michael for a number of years, and I've learned so much in the blockchain industry from him in the last 4 years. He's a founder and CEO at MLG Blockchain and the co-founder and CEO at GDA Capital in Toronto. And Michael is spending his time around the world learning what others are doing. And Rob and I have known each other for over 30 years. It's been a long time. Rob was 4 at the time, I think. Six, 5, 6. I know, literally, but that would make it almost 45 years. Yep. But originally from the world of print and graphic design, Rob was most recently the COO of an artificial intelligence language development firm. In his past appointments, he's been involved in design and marketing of platforms for the entertainment industry, working on projects to promote Star Wars, Frozen, Steven Spielberg's projects, John Wick, and the rock band Kiss, just to name a few. Rob has recently joined us at Oasis to coordinate our stellar artists, developers, and marketing teams to provide the best possible products and outcomes for our clients. So I want to welcome you both. And we're here to talk about, again, a little more technical piece. And I know that Nate was originally supposed to join us. Unfortunately, his time schedule wasn't able he wasn't able to hang on, but that's cool. And we want to talk a little bit about the world of NFTs and where they're going. And this is going to get hopefully not too technical. And unfortunately, one of our parties we couldn't fit in at over the last couple of weeks was I want to do a shout out to the people at blockchain.ca, to Aaron and Jay for offering to join us as well. But we couldn't get everybody together. We'll have another session on this and invite them to come in. And again, just a quick reminder, don't forget to scan the Oasis logo for an opportunity to win some of the great prizes you've heard today. And so, again, the audience may not be very technical. And so maybe we can talk about this, and I'll flip this over to you, Rob, and then I'll go back and forth on some of these questions, and we'll move quite quickly on this. But how does the NFT process work between a creator and a buyer?
So from a buyer standpoint, they have the easier job. They can quite simply create what we call a digital wallet, which is in the blockchain world where you keep your money, where you keep your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, or the coin of choice. And you can go to a marketplace, choose the NFT that you would like to purchase. You connect your wallet, and it's as easy as Amazon or eBay. There's different ways to buy, just like Amazon or eBay, where you can buy now or participate in an auction. And if you win the sale, then the currency is debited from your account. As a creator, it's a lot more involved. You need to understand what it is that you want to sell, how you're going to sell it. Is it going to be a one-off? Is it going to be one of 50? Is it going to be, are you going to auction it? Are you going to do a setup price? Are you going to set a price and then let people bid on it, and give their best offer? And then you need to mint what's called minting of the NFC, and that is you request, to put it in layman's terms, you request these cryptocurrency participants to create the NFC token for you. And
NFT. I know we're combining NFC and NFTs.
Sorry, pardon me, NFT.
NFTs. Sorry.
NFT, sorry, NFT token, and which is then attached to your piece of artwork. You need to choose the marketplace, so you choose based on, where are your fans. There's also different commission levels. Some of them don't charge commission, and that's really where Oasis comes into play. On top of that is the marketing. Now I have to tell everybody about it.
No problem. And involves smart contracts and all kinds of stuff. But companies like Oasis and some of our partners, like those at Rare Dot Store and others, help our creators navigate that whole process. Michael, I want to ask you a question. Marketplaces differ, and some are fully blockchain compliant, and some aren't, and that can lead to sort of a breaking of the chain if artwork isn't actually really on the blockchain. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about that, because we've heard a little bit about there's been a couple hacks out there, and how can someone know that they're getting a real NFT?
So everything that is on the blockchain has a unique hash, a unique identity. So similar to in the real world, I guess you could take a picture from the blockchain and copy it and make it into a copied asset, but it would very clearly have a different hash, which is, I guess, a difference from the traditional world where you can create a copied piece of artwork with a very uncertain way of that being identified. Um, and then also the entire history of transactions of each asset is publicly auditable on the blockchain, which is, I would say, another unique property or additional value prop of NFT functionality versus the traditional art world that is very not very opaque, I would say.
Right. So if I'm buying something, I can see if anybody else has bought it before, who's bought it, when it was created, all these factors that allow me as a buyer to know that I'm getting something that is authenticated from the time it originated on the blockchain to where I am today.
Yeah, you can see the entire history of
Mm-hmm.
everything that has happened to the piece.
And what makes NFTs unique is that if I was to buy an NFT that was created by Rob and I bought it directly from him, Rob would make money from that original sale. But now, Michael, if I sold it to you, if there was a residual component built into the smart contract, Rob would continue to earn fees as a creator every time that changed hands. So the smart contract allows for that trustless opportunity of a user to change ownership. However, the originator continues to get paid some kind of residual fee.
Yeah, you can include arbitrary functionality into your NFTs, which also I would say is a cool additional value proposition from the traditional art market, where you can not program arbitrary functionality into physical art or music.
Agreed. And with, today, some of the challenges that exist are that, each marketplace or each, I guess the best way is that each marketplace might have its own type of minting solution. So I can't move my NFT from one marketplace to another yet, but I'll open the floor to both of you. Are you starting to see, and I'm hearing more about this, about these cross-chain applications where I will be able to move from one platform to another seamlessly and easily, eventually, where Rob has frames in behind him with pictures, I think, of London and New York and Paris, that I might be able to display my digital NFTs on those IoT elements. Is that a fair assessment? Would you both agree with that?
Absolutely. The ability to move within blockchains as well. It's already starting to, it's in infancy. People have figured it out. And I think we're going to see that it's going to be more portable, opening up to a greater audience.
And I've got two last questions for you, and I appreciate, just for the sense of time, but you know, Michael, you've been around the space for a long time, starting in university, you know, where I think you ran the blockchain club at McGill, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember my history correctly.
Good
And
time.
yeah, and that was, I mean, 6, 7, 8 years ago, maybe close to it now. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and so, you know, we've talked about in earlier presentation about the environmental issues when it comes to you know, NFTs, but and that is because people know that the mining process creates Ethereum, and people are minting or creating NFTs off the Ethereum blockchain, but there are new ways to create solutions using proof of stake. So in very layperson's terms, can you explain proof of stake versus proof of work?
Sure. I think just to preface for a sec, we're blockchain agnostic
Right.
at all of our companies. There's a lot of blockchain protocols. Every blockchain protocol can introduce NFT functionality. We actually just today before this announced that we're adding NFT functionality to the digital bits blockchain. And with Rare, we intend to also be agnostic and to provide support for any and every protocol that leverages NFTs, and leave it up to the creator to determine which protocol they want to use that has the best economics and governance for their audience, which right now I would say, although Ethereum has the majority market share, it is not adoptable to a mainstream audience. So enterprises cannot integrate Ethereum NFTs into their platforms because it's, you know, $20 transaction fees. So a lot of those problems we solve with the digital bits blockchain and other blockchains that implement NFTs. But proof of work and proof of stake are just two different consensus mechanisms, like ways to achieve consensus in a distributed network. Proof of work involves individuals, enterprises, institutions contributing computing power in the form of mining um, to solve complicated um, algorithms that are then incentivized with currency or bitcoins or whatever proof of work, whatever the native token is of the proof of work chain. Proof of stake, on the other hand, secures networks by participants essentially locking their assets, which also creates enough of a I guess incentive for the network to be um, for the network to not be dishonest, because if there's a huge amount of capital that is locked, the incentive is for the network to be honest, to you know, if a blockchain is dishonest, then all of that capital becomes worthless,
Right.
because the market is not able to necessarily believe in whatever's on the blockchain.
Yeah, and I think if you think about it, you know, we've gone through hundreds of years of developing traditional monetary systems. This has all really been done in the last dozen years or so. So, you know, it's happening at an accelerated rate, and everyone in the industry is very conscious of the environment. So we're looking at ways to ensure that you know, everything is done in a way that creates survivability and efficiencies. And so I want to move very quickly with the last item, which is talking about, you know, where NFTs are going next. I mean, we talked about this a little in the last technical session, but, you know, I want to get each of your reviews, and I'll start with Rob, on the metaverse and the way that things will change as we think about NFTs, not just as collectibles and experiences and storytelling, but literally as components of things we want to do in other facets of the digital universe.
Yeah, the funny thing is the metaverse is creating as fast as we can talk about it. You know, essentially it's to be digital, live in a digital world. This could be, you know, gaming, it could be where we collect art. And it allows us, the NFTs allows us to have ownership. So if I were in a VR game, for example, I could own the island that I'm on and invite you to it, or I could sell it to you, and then you could live on the island,
Right.
island that I have. So it's really and it controls who owns it, the pedigree of it, the validity of it, and it's something that's missing there, right? That it eliminates the ability to copy paste. You know, copy paste. Now I own it. No, you don't,
Right.
because I have this.
Right. Right. And Michael, I know that you're very active in Decentraland, and we won't talk about too much about that activity, but we've been talking about this, and you know that Oasis and Liquid Avatar want to be very active in that as well. So maybe you want to just give you know, just some thoughts on what you think about NFTs and the metaverse.
Yeah, so there's three just to where I see it going in the short term, and that'll, I guess, extrapolate on the long term in the metaverse. There's 3 billion gamers in the world that play games just about every day. I think by the end of this year, we could have 1 billion holders of NFTs, which is 33% of the market, of the gaming market. The reason why I think that is because as games inevitably turn on NFT functionality, as all non-fungible assets become NFTs on the blockchain, um, you can turn on a lot of users really quickly by having the game assets be on the blockchain, which
Right.
also adds a lot more value to the users because those game assets can then be, for example, incorporated into other games. So you
Right.
can have a legendary sword in one game that you then bring into another game in theory, which is much more valuable to the game developers, much more valuable to the users, creating interoperability of in-game assets. So it's going to happen really quick. I think much faster than crypto, than the fungible side.
Mhm.
And the non-fungible side is, you know, challenging the traditional gaming market, traditional music entertainment market. It's not challenging currency. It's not challenging the US dollar. So celebrities that are in music or entertainment and are not political by, you know, the fact that they can't be political in their positions, for celebrities to participate in the fungible side of the market is risky for their core business of entertainment, but there's no regulation, or there's no complicated regulations around NFTs. So we're getting support from not just us, but I mean, there is, all celebrities are starting to participate in NFTs without it being a risk to their career. Actually, it's really important next step in their career progression. And all celebrities, all record labels, all, you know, music talent agencies, model agencies, movie producing companies will need to have an NFT strategy, or they might as well not exist in the future economy. And with metaverses, yeah, so super bullish on Decentraland, but all metaverses, and um, NFTs represent land in and ownership of real estate in the metaverse, which is just the next iteration of the internet, the immersive internet. So instead of, right now, the entire internet is two-dimensional. It's just X and Y coordinates, which is all we have been able to do. But the metaverse creates depth of the internet, which just creates more desirable or more unique experiences that you can create as a business, or as a influencer, or as anyone. Um, so yeah, and the NFTs represent real estate in the metaverse, which is pretty cool.
And we're seeing that very quickly. I mean, we talked about this in the session with Michael Pero about music and entertainment and NFTs. And so I think the metaverse is the next big thing. And you know, Liquid Avatar and ImagineAR and Oasis is there, and with great partners, you know, with great people like Rob and great partners like yourself, Michael, and others. So I wanted to thank you both. And I know, Michael, really appreciate you sticking around and doing this for us. I know that you're halfway around the world, and we've had some great people today, and you guys are certainly two of them. So I want to thank you both for being here. And I know that if our viewers have any questions, we can send them along to you guys and we'll get them answered. So really appreciate it.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank
Be
you.
well. Bye-bye.